What's up, MMA fans? It's Tudor Leonte from Sherdog here, and right now I'm with the former Strikeforce and UFC champion and current One Championship Vice President, Miesha Tate. Hello, Miesha, and welcome back on Sherdog. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Where are you going right now, if it's possible to know?
Yeah, right now I'm headed home from the UFC Performance Institute, just getting all my physical assessments and all the things that the Performance Institute, nutrition, DEXA scan, all those things, kind of getting a baseline so I can basically just perform better as an athlete.
Last week, the UFC announced that you are scheduled to clash with Marion Renault in July. When did you mature the decision to come back?
About 9 months ago, I decided I wanted to come back, but I didn't want to make any kind of announcement because I wasn't sure if that was, if it was realistic or not. Obviously, I wanted to make sure that I could physically hack it and that I could handle it. And after having 2 kids, right, I've had a lot of questions I needed to make sure before I got anybody's hopes up or anything like that. So that's what I did. And I answered all those questions and it was good. And now I feel great. So it's been a work in progress.
But what's the main reason that brought you back, to compete after taking a 5-year break from the sport?
I wanted to come back just because I felt like it was the right time to do it. I mean, I don't know. I didn't plan on even coming back at one point, but I mean, obviously over my whole retirement, it's not like I really planned on it, but I just figured when I would know. And I think the pandemic kind of really was a blessing in disguise. It forced me to reevaluate things and what's really important in my life. And then that became clear to me that I wanted to compete again at that point.
But have you thought about competing, during the time you took off from MMA?
No, I just figured when I would know. I didn't give it any extra thought process. I just was enjoying my time off, learning a lot about myself and answering questions about who I am other than being a fighter.
You kind of teased your return. I don't know if it was on purpose when you tweet a few months ago that you are back, but after that you also said that you're back to training.
Yeah, no, I was just back at that time it was like I wanted to make sure that I could could train on the level that I needed to before I made any kind of promises or got anybody's hopes up. So that was kind of me going through the process, physically trying to make sure that I could do it all. And, you want to make sure the sport hasn't passed you by. It's been a long time since I've done it. And I didn't want any pressure. I didn't want any expectations. I didn't want to have to feel like I had to live up to anybody's expectations except my own. So I just eased into training. And once I really got a good sense of like, yeah, I can do this. Like I feel really good. I'm still hanging in there with the very best. And it's like the old Miesha Tate's back, but better.
We are all waiting for, to see you again competing. I also would like to ask you how difficult it is for a woman, for a fighter to balance both an athlete life, a professional career, and having a family, having children. What's your experience in that?
Well, it's challenging. I'm not going to lie because my schedule is very full, but so is my heart. So it's a wonderful trade-off. I think before, honestly, as busy as I was, I had too much time that just wasn't, maybe I don't say too much time, but yeah, it was kind of like the time that I have now is so much more appreciated and valuable. And I make the most of every second of the day because I don't have a choice. Otherwise I don't get the things done I need to, so there's not really a lazy moment in the day. Like even if it's a rest and recovery time that I'm spending in a hyperbaric chamber, there's a purpose to it. And I'm on that move. I'm shaking and moving and I feel good.
Do you believe that in general, the women MMA situation has improved since you left, since you retired 5 years ago?
I think the women have gotten better, no doubt about it. I certainly think that the women have gotten a lot better. But as far as the MMA situation, um, it's just, I think it's been hard because Amanda has been such a dominant champion. And you see that happen in any division when there's a long reigning champion. Look at John Jones' division. He eventually just vacated 205 because it didn't interest him anymore. It's like, Amanda's kind of on the verge of that, being a two division world champion and the greatest female fighter of all time. She's almost cleaned out the 135-pound division too. So it's just, I think, a byproduct of having such a dominant champion.
Yeah, listen, another topic I would like to discuss with you is that One Championship is about to air its first card in prime time in the United States. How important is for the Singapore-based promotion to finally enter the US market?
Well, it's a huge step in the right direction. One Championship wanted to throw an event in the US at the end of 2020, and then obviously the pandemic really kind of threw all of that out the window. But this one on TNT is the first time that really that One Championship will be focusing on the US market, and we'll be able to cater to that and have have it air on TNT at a prime time. It'll start at 10 p.m. Eastern time, will be the main card. And it's going to be really, really special. These 4 events with like all of One Championship's biggest stars, essentially. I mean, we're going to have Demetrius Johnson versus Adriano Moraes, and Eddie Alvarez versus Yuri Lapicus. And oh my gosh, Rodtang Jitwangnan, who this fight's not a championship fight. It's at a catch weight, but he is the Muay Thai champion. They wear 4-ounce gloves too, which is just insanity to me because Muay Thai is the most brutal sport, I think, on the face of the planet. And then you take away maybe the one comfort that they had, which is like big gloves, maybe add a little more protection for their head, and you put 4-ounce MMA gloves on them. And it's just, it's pretty spectacular to watch those fights. So also that one, Sage will be a part of the events, Christian Lee, all these guys are going to be really great fights. Even some of the lesser name fighters, they got chip on their shoulders and something to prove. So all the fights are guaranteed to be great, and it's free. Watch it. It's going to be amazing.
Would you be tempted to compete in a Muay Thai fight? I know that right now you're planning your return to MMA, but in the future, or
no. Those fighters are insane. No, I'm definitely like more of a grappler at heart. So if I was going to do any isolated sport outside of MMA, it would be grappling.
What was the factor that struck you the most when you first watched One Championship?
The first thing was the small gloves on the athletes, I suppose. That, and when I attended my first live event, the production quality is out of this world. It's insane. The lights, it's a circular ring, right? So you kind of notice that distinction right away. But even the entrances, like, it's very unique. It's you just get very into the moment because each fighter gets their moment to kind of show their personalization. Some of them dance when they come out. Some of them come out in shark costumes. Some of them come out in you never know, like the craziest entrances, which is very fun and entertaining. Certainly adds to that entertainment value part of the sport. And then, the integrity, the respect, the honor between the athletes. I think that is so important, and perhaps a very undervalued part of, I think, being a mixed martial artist, but I think one of the most important parts. So you always see that with the One Championship events, as badass and as brutal as these fighters can be, there's always hugs and handshakes afterwards, which I think is, it's not only respectable, but it's admirable.
And what do you think about mixing several combat disciplines in the cage on the same card?
That's the best. I mean, I think it's great because you get a little bit of everything. And a lot of times people, I find it's a very common thought that people like the striking part of an MMA fight, the most. There's people like me who definitely appreciate the wrestling and the grappling. And I love, when fights are technical on the ground. But, for your average fan, they love to see the stand up, right? And so you get some isolated parts of that. The fact that kickboxing is featured on One Championship cards, and the Muay Thai fights with the small gloves are also featured on there. I mean, I think it stands out and just kind of caters to everybody's liking of, you know, what the sport has to offer.
You already gave your 30-day notice to one championship. I would like to ask you, what are you taking after your experience as once vice president?
I think it's a great promotion, and I think they're just going to continue to grow, and they have a very good hold in Asia. Great representation, but I think, you know, beyond just what I think of the promotion, as far as like just being a fan of it, that's one thing. But what I can also say is they're just incredible people there. Very equal opportunity. Miesha is a very good person, and I'm so grateful for his support, for me wanting to pursue my endeavors to be a world champion again. And you know, it's not very often that you make a friend in the business world like that, who can appreciate your individual goals and dreams, even if they kind of maybe differ or conflict, you know, with maybe what's best for him or his promotion. You know, he's gonna be supportive of that. So I'm definitely very grateful, and you know, I would hope to have a working relationship again someday with them once I've accomplished all my, you know, my dreams and goals and ambitions.
Before I let you go, the first one on TNT card will be headlined by the flyweight championship tilt between Adriano Moraes and Dimitri Johnson. I would like to ask, what's your pick for for that fight?
I mean, I'm going to go with Demetrius Johnson. I think that's going to be the popular pick, but I mean, for me, Demetrius Johnson is the greatest fighter of all time. He had some, you know, some tough challenges where he really proved his worth again in the division. I haven't seen him really, you know, fall off. And as much as I think Adriano Moraes is a very tough guy, he's pretty heavy-handed. You know, he's got decent wrestling, and he's got an excellent ground game. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you know, but you know, he has had some defeats before in one championship. And I think, you know, stylistically and speed wise, like this is probably a favorable matchup for, you know, Demetrius Johnson, but it's going to be a very good fight.
Miesha, thank you very much for your time. It was such a nice conversation. Best of luck for your return in the UFC. Do you have any last messages?
Just thanks for everybody who supported me the whole time that I was kind of doing my own thing, starting my family, and you know, doing my soul searching. There's been a lot of great loyal fans that have just stuck by me, and so for you guys, I'm excited to get in there and put on this performance July 17th against Marion Renault. It's going to be a moment that I'm really looking forward to. July can't come soon enough, and I can't wait to get in there and do it again. So just thank you to everybody.
And we can't wait to see you again in the cage. Thank you again, and have a nice day. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.